Hey guys, SuperHorrorBro Mike here, and in today's video, we return to the world of Fazbear Entertainment for a brand new Five Nights at Freddy's security breach theory video. You see, while I have looked into many areas of the lore, secrets, and general mysteries surrounding the story told throughout this latest tale of animatronic terror, one entity I have yet to properly cover is the Blob. Surely one of the most bizarre creations in FNAF history. The Blob is an amalgamation of various animatronic parts, merging together characters such as Circus Baby, Mangle, Funtime Freddy, the Puppet, Bonnie, and Chica. We can clearly see parts of these characters attached to a writhing mass of darkness and tentacles. But why? What caused this strange creature to exist, and what is its purpose beyond briefly appearing as an enemy during Security Breach's secret climactic boss fight? Well, join me if you will as we take a closer look at the Blob and its possible origins in today's video. Sit back, relax, and let's get investigating. To understand the Blob and its place in FNAF history, we must journey back from the current events unfolding in Security Breach and take a look at what led up to this point. More specifically, the evil deeds of series antagonist William Afton and the fates of his victims. Now do keep in mind I will be skipping over many details to quickly and efficiently summarise this origin story. FNAF lore goes deep, and this isn't a timeline video. Rather, for newcomers or those who may have forgotten, let this portion of the video act as a quick refresher. William was the co-founder of Fazbear Entertainment, which he set up with business partner Henry Emily. Through his company Afton Robotics, William engineered the endoskeleton technology that gave birth to various animatronics and their designs over the years. It's safe to say Afton knew these animatronics inside out, quite literally, and even began designing them to capture and hide human bodies. William Afton, you see, was no ordinary engineer. He was also a twisted serial killer who over the years preyed on many of the children who visited the various pizzerias he helped found. Afton even murdered his business partner Henry's own daughter Charlotte. William's daughter Elizabeth and younger son, believed to be named Evan, also fell prey to animatronics their father built. Elizabeth claimed by a trap set within Circus Baby, and Evan chomped down by Fredbear in a freak accident as a result of an ill-conceived prank by his older brother Michael. The spirits of these child victims ended up haunting the animatronic suits after William hid their corpses inside them. This is why throughout the series the various animatronics appear to have a life of their own and act violently towards those they encounter after hours. The vengeful spirits of the children eventually drove William Afton to an early grave, after, in a bid to escape their torment, he took refuge within an old springlock suit. The mechanism was faulty and snapped shut, impaling Afton inside and causing his corpse to fuse with the machinery. His soul now haunting the animatronic rabbit we know as Springtrap. Eventually the souls of these children and their killer William Afton ended up being lured to a new pizzeria location, the setting for which FNAF 6 Pizzeria Simulator takes place. Here, a now grown-up Michael Afton, under the cryptic direction of Henry Emily, trapped the human souls and their animatronic hosts and burned the entire site to the ground, finally condemning William to hell and in turn freeing the souls of his victims.
And to you monsters trapped in the corridors, be still and give up your spirits. For most of you, I believe there is peace and perhaps more waiting for you after the smoke clears. Although for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened to swallow you whole. So don't keep the devil waiting, friend.
There are many theories as to what happened to William Afton and the souls of his victims after the ending of FNAF 6. However, the most commonly agreed upon concept, and the idea I have always felt happiest with, is to accept the game Ultimate Custom Night, which followed on from the release of Pizzeria Simulator, as canon to the story. Despite on the surface seeming like a simple collection of minigames where one customizes a survival mode filled with animatronics from previous games, Ultimate Custom Night may also symbolize something far darker. This is William Afton's own private hell, born from the torment and misery he inflicted upon his victims. The various children he killed and extracted remnant from in life are now forever haunting him in death, as he must relive their unrelenting attacks over and over. A fitting end for such a cruel and evil man, right? Darkly poetic in its justice. That is, until William found a way to escape. As his catchphrase goes,
"I always come back."
So how did William Afton return from beyond the grave? Well, this is told in typically cryptic FNAF fashion during the story of Help Wanted, the game and story that followed on from Pizzeria Simulator and sets up the events of Security Breach. In Help Wanted, we assume the role of a beta tester working on a VR-themed video game being created on behalf of Fazbear Entertainment. It seems fairly innocent on the surface, a collection of minigames themed around past FNAF experiences that were apparently created to try and tarnish Fazbear Entertainment's good name by a disgruntled rogue developer. It's all very meta. However, by locating secret tapes left by a previous beta tester, we discover the tale of a malicious viral entity living inside this game code. A green rabbit known as Glitchtrap. This is the digital ghost of William Afton. He managed to escape his hell and transition back into the human realm after animatronic parts containing his remnant were scanned into the code for Help Wanted to speed up development and digitize the various animatronics.
They sent us that stuff in the first place with no explanation, told us to scan it, said it would expedite the process so we wouldn't need to program any pathfinding ourselves. It was a budget thing, I guess.
It seems, as always, cutting corners has backfired for Fazbear Entertainment. Essentially, this process created a new version of Afton, living on within the game code. He then set about brainwashing beta testers, infecting their minds so they would carry out his bidding. The end goal to transfer him back into reality, which is exactly the task which Vanny attempts to complete during the story of Security Breach. Now, I have put together a detailed theory chronicling this process in my video analysing the character of Vanny and Vanessa, so check that out for an in-depth explanation of this process. Shortly after the scan was completed and Afton returned as Glitchtrap, the game developer offices were ransacked in the night. All animatronic parts vanished.
The drawers have been emptied out. Someone was here. I don't think it was spring cleaning either. No, there was plastic on the floor. Someone was definitely here during the night.
It seems as though this theft was performed by someone now under Glitchtrap's control. Perhaps Jeremy, a man manipulated by Glitchtrap before he would later move on to using Vanny. The stolen parts were taken somewhere, but where? Well, this catches us up to the story of Security Breach, where we know Glitchtrap used many of the old animatronic scrap parts to resurrect himself with the help of a brainwashed Vanny. We also know that Glamrock Freddy was used by Vanny to clear a path to this old location.
I know what this is. I have been here before. She brought me here. I found myself for the first time when I cleared the path. I did not want to, but I had no choice.
You see, the Pizza Plex in Security Breach was constructed over the ruins of William Afton's final resting place, the pizzeria from FNAF 6. So it makes sense he would use Vanny to resurrect him there. It's hidden away, private, and a place where his soul is tied. However, the same can be said for the spirits of the children also freed during the fire. They all ended up here before moving on, and so when their various parts were brought back here, they also began to reconstruct. Unbeknownst to Afton until it was too late. And so, with the origins of the Blob explained, we can now move on to the final segment of this video, where we establish why it exists. While Vanny required some of the stolen animatronic parts to aid her in Afton's resurrection, many of them were not needed, and so now lay dormant in the depths of a ruined pizzeria. For example, the many animatronic heads we see attached to the body of the Blob. As the site contained the remnant of the deceased children, then it seems logical to conclude that this dark energy would return to the vessels they previously haunted. For example, Elizabeth's remnant to Circus Baby, and Charlotte's to the puppet. However, as the animatronics were no longer functional and instead left lying around in pieces, the souls that returned to them couldn't actually move, and so they festered within the remains of their old vessels and produced a darkness, a physical manifestation of their hatred and malice toward the man who not only wronged them in life, but also escaped them and his rightful punishment in the afterlife. As this darkness grew like a tumour, it began to spread between the animatronic remains, fusing them together into a mass of writhing tentacles, where each of the spirits within battles for control, but all wish for the same endgame, to locate and retrieve William Afton. We encounter the Blob during the final boss battle with a newly rebirthed Afton, now in his burn trap form. It finally manages to move from its place of rebirth and works its way into the very foundation of the building like a giant weed, emerging from sewer ducts and cracks in walls. Eventually, upon locating Afton in his new burn trap form, the Blob, and by extension William's victims, reclaim him once more and drag him back down to hell, just as they are once again engulfed in flames, the Pizza Plex burning to the ground once more. We can only assume William is returned to his personal hell, where the souls of his victims can torment him forevermore, or at least until he returns once again. After all, he always comes back, right? And with that, we come to the end of this look at the very peculiar animatronic, the Blob. I hope you enjoyed this video and found my interpretation of this bizarre creation in FNAF lore both entertaining and informative. If you did, remember to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more horror-related content. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.